Hello and welcome to another day of Iniquity, where good news everybody! The new Predator movie might not be shit after all! How do I know this? Well, it turns out it's not actually going to be a reboot. Yes! Better yet, I actually bothered my arse to check stuff for once, and turns out the guy that's behind it is, well, Hawkins from the original one. Which is good in my book, because yes, alright, granted, sometimes you get actors that get involved in stories and it turns to crap, but the fact that for some reason even everyone seems to be calling his part a small role seems to suggest some amount of humility, if not on his part, then at least on other people's parts, which tends to keep the person humble in the first place. Anyway, my point is, Hawkins was not a small part in that film. Apparently Shane Black also had some input into the script as well. I don't know what input exactly, but let's just hope that it means that the film that's coming out, which will not be a reboot, and instead will be, how do they put it? Whatever. Some fancy word and then sequel. I can't remember right now. Damn. Anyway, point is this. Not a reboot, but a sequel, which means that, you know, basically Predator, probably not bothering to say anything got to do with sponsoring or anything like that, but we don't know the premise. And a guy who's actually had experience doing the film before. I was originally very worried about this because, well, if you've been paying attention to this stuff, you will have heard me saying already that Predator is by far and away my favourite film. Yes, granted, there's loads of films out there that are awesome, that probably blow it away in many respects, and you probably think that it's cheesy, with its cheesy dialogue, it's hammy 1980s big dudes going up against big creatures with big guns, and yes, I know it's all very alien and phallic and whatever when you put it that way now that I think about it. Moving swiftly along, it's all about the blood and the gore and the killing, and at times the really cool violence. Yeah, I know, that's all the same thing. When they did Predators, which was the most recent film, they harkened back to that original movie. They took the basic themes, they even took the general outline of the story in the way that the characters were picked off and had to fight the Predators, and they updated and changed certain things. My personal favourite was the battle between Hanzo and the Predator using the katana, mirroring that ancient, well, he says, that classic piece where Billy is on the log and all you see him doing is getting the knife and just... And you know what's going to happen, you know it, but you never get to see it. So clearly they decided, hey, guess what? We want to see this cool fight. And they gave us a cool fight. Hell, they even gave us the closest thing you will get to a victory against the Predator, which is you not winding up with its head on your wall and it ending up dead next to you and not going boom. Still, for some reason, people thought at the time there was a need to reboot it because apparently the film didn't do that well. I don't know what the hell people were talking about. I was a fan of the original. I thought it was a great remake. I mean, it certainly beat Predator 2, which was good, don't get me wrong, it was fun, but it's not the original. And it certainly stomped all over both Alien vs Predator movies, even though the second one was degrees better than the first one. Having read all of the stories that they're supposed to be based on, I can tell you it could have been a hell of a lot better, but it could have been a shite sight worse as well. So just accept the fact that we get to see, at times, Predators picking up aliens, swinging them around by the tail and smashing them off stuff. As a result of these films' lackluster performance, it is easy to understand why people having seen the latest Predators movie would think, yeah, not as good, because once again it was basically a giant homage. Don't forget, part of the reason this film was done was to test the waters and to see if the audience was open to the notion of actually doing Predator movies again. Also, it's my belief that had this film been successful, we would have seen more films taking the genre of people being brought to other planets. Personally, I think that would have been awesome. Hopefully we'll get to see this in the new Predator movie coming out. Unfortunately, I doubt it, however, since they're interactive, no, intuitive, no. Oh, I use it to describe my driving skills all the time. Improvised, that's the word. Improvised reboot. No, that doesn't sound right, but it does sound right with me. Anyway, if they decide to take this reboot in the direction of Back on Earth, then granted it'll be cool because it's a Predator movie, but we will be once again ploughing somewhat well-tilled soil. Please, if you're going to, the people that are making the new Predator film, as a fan, as a lifelong fan, as someone that can actually make the Predator noise, you know, which is a little bit weird when I think about it, please, I beg of you, take what has been done in Predators. You don't even need to follow the way they were doing it, but the notion of a film set on a planet that isn't ours, if for no other reason you can introduce all kinds of creatures that these planetary hunters could also be stalking. As I said, they kind of touched in it with predators when they decided to introduce the original concept for the predator, which is that creature that dropped out of the cage and they're whacked. Kind of a cool thing to have in the film. The point is that whatever they do with Predators movie, it will not be a reboot, so we will not have people completely, you know, I expect we'll have people going, what the hell are we dealing with? But we won't have the cringe-worthy possibility of them completely rewriting a mythos for a character. And it'd be like coming along and rewriting Alien. Oh, I'm sorry, did someone say Prometheus? Sit in it and swivel. Prometheus doesn't rewrite Alien. Pay attention to the story! So, end of the day, what are we looking for? We are looking for blood. We are looking for gore. We are looking for a damn good story. And we are looking for a good representation of some of the meanest motherfucking hunters this or any other planet has ever produced. End of discussion.